right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all. So it is time to get this party uh, uh, a friend of mine was just harassing me for shorting the pound. He says, you just can't stay away. I'm like, yeah, I can't. I freaking hate the pound. Okay, let me grab the let me grab the bias chart here. Okay. Um, oh, by the way, yes, sirree. Chewy's in the house. Okay. All right. Here we go. In all seriousness. All right. Let's go with the euro dollar. Did you guys see the tweet that I did yesterday? Did you guys or here's the here Ziggy actually tweeted this too. You can see it. There's the that was yesterday during lunch money. Let me see. I think if I pull up my original tweet, it actually is a little bit bigger. Yeah, here, there. That was me yesterday. In case you guys missed that one yesterday, yeah, that was me at the desk in the Chewbacca mask and broadcasting at the same time. So my kids have two of these things, two of these masks. They've had them for a while, so they've had them since they came out anyway. Having fun. All right, let's go to the euro dollar. So the euro is walking a very fine line this morning. All right, we are already starting to break lower, which, in my opinion, looks as if we could push down towards this 111 and a quarter. Now, 111 and a quarter, I think, is going to be really big support. It's going to be big support just because it's a 618 retracement, and you guys know when you're talking fibs, the golden fib to me is obviously key. So I think this is going to be very critical on the way down. I think the euro looks vulnerable. We had ZEW numbers, so that's business sentiment numbers come in really low. They came in at 6.4. Market was looking at 12.1. Big miss on the German ZEW numbers, and so the euro does look vulnerable. 111 and a quarter is where I'm thinking, and if we get there, that's probably not a bad place to even take a counter trend long. I'm not one to do that, and I don't. That's not something that I'm going to do in particular. But what I'm thinking here is, if we make it to, I'm just trying to get you guys thinking about this. If we break lower and we get to 111 and a quarter, relative strength, as you can see here, it may not break new lows. So if relative strength does not break new lows and we hit 111 and a quarter, that's probably going to be your cue to cover any shorts, okay? Or, that might be your cue to get long for those of you that want to. Like I said, that's not my cup of tea, but for those of you that are looking for, a place to cover up some short positions down there might be it. All right, now, where do we know that that things are going to reverse here for the euro? Well, what's going to show reversal for the euro dollar now is above this yellow line. So let's get rid of this stuff. We can actually take that. So we'd have to get back above, basically, I'm going to say it's about 112.15, but I'm going to write down 112.25, okay? So 112.25 is where we have to get above to take this downside pressure off, okay? That would take the downside pressure off of the euro. This stupid crude oil, damn it. If this crude oil could ever freaking break down, I'd be happy with that. Help out my Canadian, please. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the cable. Oh, this is bearish. All right. So I shorted the pound this morning. All right. I shorted the pound. Cliff wrote in and said there's an inverted head and shoulder pattern in the pound. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. If you're thinking this, I think you're way off base. If for some reason you think there's this, you're way off base. There's no neckline. Okay? There's no neckline. I think that that yeah, you're off base there, in my opinion. Okay? Um, we're getting on the hourlies, pretty overbought here. We might stretch a little further to 146, maybe 30. I want to see what an 88% retracement of this is. Okay, we're at the 786 right now. It's here. 88%, 146.36. So I'm going to say 146.35. That should hold as resistance today. This isn't a range. Support dips to 145.50 should be, and then 145 in case we come down. I don't think we're going to come all the way down there, but I'm going to write down 145, 145.50. Okay, is support. Let's go over to the Swissy. Here's the Swissy. This damn thing is so freaking strong, and it's so irritating that it will not pull back. I mean, you know, I've been sitting here hoping for a pullback, and that's all it is just hoping. And as you can see, what we're doing right now is we're building a bullish wedge. Now, that doesn't mean we have to break out, but, you know, I mean, obviously we can get to 98 cents. That would be great. Here, let me delete all this stuff. I just don't think that's going to happen just yet. You know, if we come down here, that's the place where you want to be on the long side, right? But this has to hold, which is 98.80. Okay. Resistance. $99.30. It's tight. I know we're right there too. $99.30. Okay, and we're bullish. It's in a bullish wedge right now. You can see this trend line, how how significant it is currently. Okay, so I'm hoping for a dip down to 98 cents. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't. Man, this crude oil took off. Crude's actually up on the day now. Yep. Keep stalling the Canadian too. All right. Anyway, let's go to the dollar yen. So the dollar yen, we had a big rejection. You know, on Friday, broke down yesterday. We've had a very minor pullback. I mean, I was hoping we'd get a bounce to 110. We are right at resistance right now. But this still holds true. I don't think that this is here. Let me delete this stuff. Okay. I still think that any move up towards now it's got to be 110.20, 110.25 is resistance, and support obviously is right here. It doesn't even mean anything. There's like no fibs there either. Hold on. I take that back. It's 161% extension. Wow, that's why it stopped. Okay, well, I wasn't even looking at that. 109.10 is support. We're in range. Let's go over to the Canadian and just cruising through analysis this morning. Here's the Canadian. So the dollar Canadian is just inching its way higher. Arguably, we can even be putting in an ascending wedge, possibly. Meaning we still have to we still have to build the apex here. So support 130, 130, and then obviously 130.80. So support 30.80, 131.30, and then resistance. I did this yesterday. I was looking at it last night when I was on my own, actually, just looking at this. I was looking at what the maximum extension was going to be if we broke out last night, and that took us above 132 to 132.50. I tell you, yeah, I still think it's possible, especially with crude doing what it's doing, because crude rallied, dollar Canadian still holding up well. So I mean, the inverted head and shoulder pattern, as you guys know, there's a big inverted head and shoulder pattern still working. Um, that 261% extension takes us all the way out there too. So it's hard to say where we're going to go here in this Canadian, but what I can do, I guess, for now is I can take this last move down. 161% extension takes us to 132. That should be good resistance today if we make it up there. And it is bullish. Okay. 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 Stupid Aussie New Zealand. Damn it. All right, here's the New Zealand. Speaking of which. So here's the Kiwi. Kiwi stopped at channel. Look at all these fibs. Let me get rid of them all. So the Kiwi, we drew this yesterday. We came right down to support and stopped. And this is channel support. Now, if you look at the Kiwi, like this is the daily, all right? We're making our way lower. 50% retracement comes in at 67 cents. Channel support is at 67 cents. So that means that 67 cents is major support right now. That means if it breaks, it's going to get damn ugly in the Kiwi. All right. Resistance right now. Where is resistance? I mean, I know we're in tight ranges, but any move up to 67.50 is probably going to be good resistance. Okay. We're, we're in a bearish trend right now as we've moved out of this daily, out of that daily trend line, and we're breaking lower. It's moving lower slowly and annoyingly, right? Let's try. All right, let's go over to the Aussie. Now the Aussie has completed or close to completing its head and shoulder pattern. Matt in our chat room, he identified that, a while back. Okay. And we broke below the 618. The target comes up at 71 and a quarter, but it looks very possible that we continue to break lower towards 74 cents or 70 40, excuse me. Sorry. Let me stop here for a second. Okay. We need that. And the daily's not quite even oversold yet, which is surprising to me. I don't even know. I'm really unsure where the next level of support is. I mean, this is a steep downtrend. I mean, it's just extremely steep. I mean, that's how bearish it looks. I mean, it's like, where do we stop here? And we're at 127% extension right now. So the 161% extension takes us 71.20 of just this last move. Let me make sure I've got that drawn correctly. 71 and a quarter. Okay, so right now, 72 cents is resistance, 71 and a quarter is support. That's 72 cents right there. I mean, I'm going to write it down. It's nothing, it's not great. I'm trying to just give us something to work with, but all right, guys. Hey, I'll be back in a few minutes. When I come back, we'll continue on. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and I'll be back in a few. Thanks. All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. So let's finish off with our oh man, look at the euros breaking lower. Did that just happen while I was on break? While we were on break? Looks like it, huh? The euro's trying to break lower. The cable's trying to break lower. Trying is the key word here. Crude strong. Okay. All right, we'll just keep an eye on everything. So, dollar index. So here's the dollar index, and you guys know how critical this resistance is. We talked about this yesterday. 95.50, right? It's right here. 95.60. I'll even write down. But if you guys don't understand why it's so critical, you have to go out to like a daily. And you can see we have our channel resistances right here. I mean, if you guys want to short the dollar, this is the time to do it. It is. If you guys are, really hell bent on shorting the dollar, this is the time to do it. Because the thing is, if we break higher, we break above this like 95, we can call it 95.60 or so. It's probably gonna rally pretty substantially, start to squeeze. So I'm gonna write down 95.60. I'll put an asterisk there. We are still in a range. Threatening to break out of our range, though, if we can bust out of this. Support. Here, let me delete this stuff. I think we've seen the flag there long enough. So really, while we're above this 95.10 support, right? Man, damn crude is strong. Okay, 95.10. Okay, let's go over to the peso. Here's the peso. Now the peso, I was looking at it this morning. I'm like, damn it, I'd love to see it rally back to like 1850, because I wouldn't actually mind being on the short side of this peso up here. Now, we've got major resistance, big fib confluence up here, but I don't want to sell it yet. I'd actually prefer to see it rally back towards 1850, then look for a short. Okay. We have the potential of a double top. All I know is we're creating some pretty big resistance here. Okay. Big resistance up here, and I'm going to just mark up today's highs. What probably is happening, my assumption is, here, let's get rid of this. We can get rid of this. My assumption at this point is that we're making a wedge. My assumption is we're building some sort of wedge pattern here. Um, one of the reasons why the peso is so strong right now is because crude oil is so strong, right? So my assumption is that we're going to stop here soon. 618 is 1841. That's probably going to offer us support. Resistance, I think any move back above 1850 really is going to offer resistance, but yeah, any move up towards 1850 should be resistance. And I'm actually thinking about selling it up there if we get up there. It is bullish, so if I shorted it, it would be counter trend. So what I'm thinking here is something like that. Okay. All right. U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. The U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona is holding up pretty well, despite the. It's very similar to the Canadian, despite the strength in crude. It's holding up really well. Now we have a big inverted head and shoulder pattern that's in play. That would be one explanation why the hell it's holding up so well. But it's very similar to the Canadian here. Um, Seems to me 840 is resistance. Oops, that's the inverted head and shoulder pattern. That's the short shoulder. Um, I already own the Norwegian krona, the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. But if you guys don't, this might actually be a place to be on the long side. Like right now, like right here, for those of you that can trade it. Um, 833, I'll just put down as support. 840, 840.50 is resistance. Is that 833? All right. And like I said, it's holding up despite the strength in crude. Now, the Swedish krona is a little weaker today, and the reason why is I think we had Swedish, not GDP, it was Swedish, blah, 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 unemployment rate, and that's what pushed it down this morning. Man, I cannot believe how strong this. crude oil is right now. Anyway, excuse me one second, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, sorry about that. 830 is support. Where does this trend line come through from? Oh, oh, hmm. Okay. Looks like that was irrelevant, really. 618. Aha, aha. Maybe not. 'um, 830, 830, 850. We're just kind of bouncing around trying to find some direction here, but right, 838. Yeah, it's bullish despite its little bit of weakness today. I think that again it had to do with the unemployment rate that came out of Sweden today. All right. All right, I think we're done. We are finished. And it is ready to go, the bias chart. So let me take your questions now. All right, so wow, there hasn't been a whole lot of questions this morning. Surprise, 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 surprise. First